Pizza Hatch by Dead Palette.
I used to think the Pizza Hatch was just a local urban legend. Around here, it's murmured about occasionally, but I don't think most people think it's real. Recently, I found out it is real. Allegedly, it's a hatch in the floor of an abandoned building. You go to the hatch and ask for any pizza you want, and then you open the hatch, boom, pizza's right there. And it's good pizza too. Best pizza you'll ever have. But you'll die in 7 days, or the pizza is made of human, or you'll owe the mafia a favor. It varies. None of that is what the Pizza Hatch actually is. When I found it, I thought I had a good grasp on what it was. A neat little hip place to get darn good pizza after solving a sort of escape room puzzle. Kind of like those faux speakeasy bars where there's a gimmick to get in. But after what happened last night, I have a lot more questions. Let's back up. I'm Frankie, and I like pizza. Right now, I'm working remotely from home, and I've gotten very lonely. I hardly chat with my friends, and my waistline is hurting from all the food I've been having delivered. Feels like I've been in prison, and with the winter weather coming, I've been restless and hit with seasonal depression. I'm realizing, just like a lot of other people, that everyone needs to practice good mental health, and so any excuse to get out of the house is a good one. Such as seeing an odd pizza box next to a dumpster on the way back from your apartment, from the corner store where you buy White Claws and Doritos. 3 days ago, I spotted a teal cardboard box, roughly medium, with big, bold letters on it. I got closer to inspect, tilting my head to read the box that had clearly been tossed out of an apartment window and missed the dumpster. It read, "Intoxicating smell. Drives you crazy, but wait till home or you'll push up daisies." Intriguing. The box was half open, and a sticker with a daisy motif on it was broken. With a sanitization wipe, I lifted the lid to reveal the inside of the box had a giant poem where the pizza would have laid. The last bit of which said, "The Pizza Hatch." So, I picked up the box and took it inside, really curious about this poem and death-themed pizza. After eating a few Doritos, after eating a significant portion of Doritos, after eating an entire party-sized bag of Doritos, I cracked open a White Claw and read the poem. "When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, it's midnight and it will eclipse the big fly. The shadow cast our final like dye. Casual affairs require no suit or tie. No camera, no phone, no devices at all are granted entry to the oven's hall. Rectangle for a circle, circles do it all. 60-40-20, large, medium, small. The chefs below will not give a sign, but do not joke because this is their shrine. Enter the passage one soul at a time. We cut the pizza, do not cut in line. Keep this box a secret even from friends, or your soul will be harvested from where we begin. Keep this box a secret even from kin, sliced with a cutter and flattened with a pin. Pizza ninjas are always dispatched. Do not rest assured they unlock any latch. Always fresh ingredients, always made from scratch. Sacrifice your soul to the Pizza Hatch." Well, that was a lot to take in, but obviously I was down to decode it. I took some notes and ventured to where I thought the puzzle was taking me the next night. A giant fly sculpture that had been in our city for ages. Luckily, it was a clear night with a bright moon, and the shadow cast from the fly was almost leading to a nondescript office building. I was expecting some others to show up and maybe solve the puzzle too, or what have you, but I was alone in the area. My guess was that the no suit or tie bit meant that I was good to go inside. The door was unlocked and nothing was inside, The entire place was extremely austere, with only some boring abstract corporate art hung on the walls. Searching the first floor a bit, I found a series of elevators, like 8 of them with potted plants on either side. Something I'd normally pay no mind to, if not just for how empty the place was. The plants were all different, then boom, I caught on. Are any of these daisies? Yes. So I sent for that elevator flanked on both sides by daisies. Inside, I ventured a guess for the basement because the chefs are below. I was really wondering if I was trespassing, but hey, I felt alive and energized for the first time in a long while. With my demeanor at the moment, any security guard would just see it as an honest mistake. I was certain I discovered some sort of man-made mystery, a fun distraction from all the chaos around me. The elevator opened to reveal a small brick room, one way too small to be the basement of an office building this size. Opposite the elevator was a wooden gate. Beside it, a hole in the wall with a silver tray inside. Approaching it, I figured it was to put my phone on. I placed my phone on the tray, and the wooden gate lifted upwards, revealing a long hallway with a wooden floor and dim red lights above. Concrete walls. I found it. This was definitely the Pizza Hatch, the demonic ritual pizzeria of local lore. I just hoped it was demonic ritual themed and not a sincere cult. As I walked down the hall towards a vault-like door in the distance, I both marveled at the weird architecture of the place and began to feel warmer and warmer, like I was descending into hell. I'm sure this was on purpose. It was so quiet on the way in. I pulled on the vault door to reveal a small room made entirely out of concrete. It was pretty much enough room for 2 people to stand comfortably. Not that would be allowed, allegedly. Above hung a small white light, and directly below it was a hatch a bit bigger than a pizza box in dimensions, with a single handle. The actual real-life pizza hatch, right in front of me. An urban legend in my mind until this point, one I'd heard mention of for at least 15 years. Okay, I'll bite. I audibly, but still quietly, asked for a large, thin-crust pepperoni, well done. I waited a moment and opened the hatch to find a diagram. Inside were 3 sizes of circles overlapping with rectangles the shape of US dollars inside each, labeled 20. That's expensive. Seemed like it was indeed 20 buckaroos for a small pizza, 44 medium and 64 large, but hey, if it's the best pizza ever, right? It's probably worth it. But for all I knew, this was a trap of some kind, a hidden camera show. But no, there were no cameras around, none that I could see. So how could this function? There was no way to know if money was placed over the rectangle. This was a scam, but how could it be either? No one could observe and lock the hatch. Screw it. It's only 20 bucks, I said. I sprung for a small by placing a crisp, clean 20 on the small pizza's rectangle and gently closed the hatch. No sooner had my hand left the handle did I hear a loud metallic knock from under the hatch. I nearly died of shock. Coming to my senses, I quickly lift the lid to 1, see if it would open, and 2, see if my money was gone. But there it was. A small teal pizza box. It was literally only 5 seconds. How was this possible? Everything inside the little hatch, just big enough for the pizza box, was flush with concrete. That was the best magic trick I had ever seen. Now, it wasn't as easy to walk in and get a pizza as Little Caesars, but this gave new meaning to hot and ready. The daisy seal on this box was unbroken. On its cover was a message: personal pizza for passenger seat. Wait for home before you eat. Picking up the box, it was insanely hot. It had to be carried by its corners. Putting my hands flat under where the pizza was resting against the cardboard was scalding hot. It was also really heavy and dense for a small pizza box. Oh, and the smell. The smell was hard to place, but it was awesome. I was done with the puzzle. I was just intensely hungry now. The drive home was torture. The smell was filling my car. I even rolled down my windows and put my mask on to avoid opening the box for a slice. I mean, it's not like I was afraid of pizza ninjas or whatever satanic curse this pie allegedly had, but it was fun to play along, get into that alternate reality mindset. Plus, eating and driving is always a bad idea, especially with hot finger food. I got to my apartment on the 4th floor and broke the seal to find the pizza was a Chicago deep dish with pineapple and pepperoni. Any other time, all of those things I would hate, but I dug in instantly, burning my mouth on the still molten hot pizza. But I kept eating. Now I have said, this is the best pizza ever, many times. Every time it was a lie. Every time I was very drunk and the pizza had the added benefit of a quality craft beer to be paired with. This is the best pizza I've ever had as a meaningless statement to me until I ate this pizza. It was actually true this time. Really true. It was like finding out what love is. I was saying I love you for the first time and meaning it. I was in love with this pizza. But I was surprised to find not a poem on the bottom of the box, stained with fresh pizza grease and bits of leftover melted cheese I was picking up and eating, but a checklist. A checklist labeled After Dinner Service. It listed the following: breath mint, receipt, menu, cookie. Below was a recycling logo. Said logo might have been on the medium box too, I think. Confused by how this checklist worked, I got a Sharpie and checked the box beside breath mint because there was a garlic element to the taste. I was just playing along with the gimmick. I placed both boxes, mine and the one that led me down this adventure to great pizza, on my kitchen counter. I brushed my teeth, very reluctantly, not wanting to let that angelic taste go, and headed to bed. I woke up to the sound of an ambulance. Looking out my window, I saw medics rush into my apartment building. Nothing too shocking, these things happen. But when I went to my kitchen counter, the boxes were gone, replaced with a large breath mint and a teal wrapper. My door was deadbolted shut and required a keycard to get access to my floor. I was suddenly very uneasy. That was all yesterday. Today, I found out that a man was killed in his locked apartment, his throat slashed and his head beaten in. I thought back to the idea of pizza ninjas and questioned the validity of the idea very seriously. So if I want another pizza, I'm going to have to play by the rules. This is the most alive I've felt in a long while. I could really go for a pizza.
Come on into Pizza Hatch.
Before we get started, I should say yes, I returned to the Pizza Hatch. That might not sound advisable, but allow me to explain. Things didn't go as expected, but to catch everyone up, what is the Pizza Hatch? A hidden hatch in the basement of an office building that gives out excellent pizza with instructional poems on the box. The box implies a vague threat if the rules of the poem aren't followed. I found a discarded box mentioning the Pizza Hatch, which should remain secret, on penalty of death, near my apartment dumpster. The next morning, a dead body was wheeled out of the apartment building. We found out in the newsletter that the body had a bunch of cuts in it in odd shapes. It's not any more specific than that. But I think the cause of death was the crushed head. This is the kind of death violators of the pizza box will get, I think. Keep this box a secret, even from friends, or your soul will be harvested from where we begin. Keep this box a secret, even from kin, sliced with a pizza cutter and flattened with a pin. Pizza ninjas are always dispatched. Do not rest assured they unlock any latch. This is also consistent with people breaking into my studio apartment, taking both mine and the now deceased apartment neighbor's pizza boxes, and leaving a breath mint. There was no sign of forced entry into my apartment. Nothing was out of place. I don't know about that neighbor, but I bet the same is the case for them. The easiest way into this place would literally be scaling the building and unlocking my window, unless they have a key card to my floor. I don't know what to do with this idea of pizza ninjas breaking into my room. But yeah, that mint was the best breath mint I've ever had. I wish I had it sooner. Really imbued me with confidence for some reason. I was, and am still, puzzled by parts of that poem that were on the box. I took notes, but I'm still not sure what to make out about chefs. The loud banging noise must not have been the chefs because the poem states that they don't give a sign. I think the loud bang was a sign. Who are the chefs? Where did the pizza come from? If that wasn't actual magic, then it's the best damn magic trick I've ever seen. I can't wrap my head around it, and yes, I've seen it happen again. Still no clue. Most troubling of all was the ending of the poem. Always fresh ingredients, always made from scratch, sacrifice your soul to the pizza hatch. So, is the pizza made of human meat? Am I a cannibal like the urban legend suggests? Or is it conceptual cannibalism? Like, am I eating the human soul? Is this all metaphorical? Well, about a week went by and I had cravings that are a clue. I hunger for pizza constantly. I mean, I usually wanted pizza, but now I need it. Like nicotine, but worse. And it's even worse than that because all the pizza I ate tasted awful. The day after eating from the Pizza Hatch, I wanted pizza real bad, but couldn't find the time to leave my apartment. So I had it delivered from my favorite pizza place. At least, before the Pizza Hatch. My favorite pizza from there too. A large thin crust 3-cheese blend with pepperoni and heavy on the oregano. What a breakfast. As I waited for it to arrive, I lost all focus on everything around me. I couldn't even find the energy to respond to emails or Discord messages. Nothing mattered but eating pizza. But when the food arrived, I struggled to even keep it down. It tasted like wet cardboard. This was my go-to slice until a few days ago. And now it tasted more like water and trash than food. Then I got cold chills. I realized my sense of taste was going. I was freaking out, thinking perhaps I caught something I didn't want to spread. I ventured to the Minute Clinic and got tested for things. No cold, no flu, nothing else for that matter. The nurse found nothing wrong with me. And indeed, I had no other symptoms. Between then and eventually going to the Pizza Hatch again, I felt like I was going crazy. I still do. Thinking maybe I need to clear my mind of pizza, I ordered tacos. I threw up. On contact with touching the taco to my tongue, I barfed. Maybe it was some sort of stomach bug? Ramen? Couldn't keep it down. Burger? Couldn't stand the smell. Fresh fruits and vegetables? Absolutely not. The only thing I could do was order pizza. And again, eating it tasted bad. But it stayed down. Was I ruined now? Did the Pizza Hatch ruin my taste buds? I think so. I can only survive on pizza, and there's only one place I want pizza from. Any kind of pizza. I just wanted something from the pizza hatch, but obviously I was hesitant due to the hassle of the boxes, poems, the break-ins, the murders by supernatural pizza ninjas. For those curious, I did Bing the pizza hatch plus the place that I live. No results. Can't say I'm surprised. Nothing about the pizza hatch would suggest it has a Yelp. They probably don't take kindly to bad reviews. Anyway, I thought that I knew if I got a medium pizza, I'd get the poem on the box like the one I found in the dumpster. Then, all I'd have to do is keep the box safe. A large pizza is an unknown variable, but I could safely get a medium pizza and know its demands. So I ventured back to the pizza hatch. Going through the oven's hall was way hotter than last time. I placed the 20 on the small circle's rectangle and another on the medium's rectangle, then closed the hatch. Bang! When I opened the hatch, I saw a familiar sight. The teal box, medium, and with an unbroken daisy sticker keeping the box sealed. The same bold font said, "Intoxicating smell drives you crazy, but wait till home or you'll push up daisies." It was so hard not to bust open the box, but I knew that there was a real threat to doing this. Or maybe? Regardless, I was picking up the box and sniffing it at the stoplights, guessing and fantasizing about the pizza. Driving with one hand, I was nervously using the other hand to tap on the box to hear the acoustics that the pizza made. It was still heavy like the last one, but I got the sense it wasn't a thick crust. At least not as much as last time. It felt like I was driving drunk, off of the smell of this pizza. I couldn't place it, but I needed to eat it. It was different from all the crap cardboard I'd been scarfing down, trying to imagine it was Pizza Hatch instead. When I got out of the car, everything in the world was causing me anxiety, like I was holding my life in my hands. The only thread keeping me in this world. I couldn't let something happen to this pie. The homeless person I passed might mug me for my pizza. Maybe the cops passing by would shoot me for my pizza. Maybe the elevator would get stuck and the fire department would hold me hostage for the pizza. I needed to be in the safety of my studio apartment to eat my pizza. I bust open the door to my apartment and slammed the door behind me, falling to the floor and breaking the seal on my pizza. Thin crust, well baked, like a pizza cracker. Pineapple and anchovies. It makes no sense, but it tasted so good. I blacked out eating the pizza. I can't remember eating any of it past the first bite. That is, until I picked up the last piece. Oh, I started realizing what was going on then. I started having memories then. I almost bit into that last slice. Nourishing, delicious, angelic pizza. Then, I read the poem. The poem I must have neglected to read while blacked out in my pizza haze. It wasn't the poem that started this whole mess. It was a different one. You can have your pie and eat it too. But then the pizza ninjas will come for you. The last slice is always the best if you want it now for your last request. Stomach rumblings the size of earthquakes last all night until the daybreak. Calm your soul and keep your mind steady. Pizza for breakfast will be hot and ready. I dropped the pizza slice back into the box and shut it as quickly as possible. I grabbed my coat in a panic and headed outside of my apartment and tried to run away from the building. I needed to physically escape the temptation of eating the last slice. I wasn't in the right mind. I called a cab and had to take me to a hotel, the only one that was open in the area. I rested in the shower, crying like an insane person, just absolutely insane behavior. This isn't right. What is happening to me? After a night of biting my hand in my sleep, still smelling the smell of the pizza miles away, I went back to my apartment. There was a teal paper plate with a daisy pattern on it, on the floor, with the last slice, hotter than it was when I first opened the box. I need help. I need it badly. I need a large.
Come on into Pizza Hut.
For most of my life, things seem to escalate very gradually. It hasn't been the most explosive life. Everything was very normal and very mediocre. But I guess life has sped up for me. Seems like it has for a lot of people. Point is, I ordered trash pizza from trash delivery guys made by trash pizza chefs for too long. I can no longer live primarily on pizza that doesn't come from a hatch, which is the perfect way to deliver pizza to a person's hands. The ritual, the transaction of it all, I can think of nothing else. It has given me a meaning, an arcane path to follow. Food isn't just about eating. If you do a survey on a fast food restaurant, they'll ask you about way more than food. Are the bathrooms clean? The staff nice? The speed of the service? All of these things and many more factor into how you eat and a restaurant's reputation. But it's all different for the Pizza Hatch. Everything is different from how you judge the experience. A new beast. Fast food and sit-down restaurants aren't two sides of the same coin. They're the same side of the same coin. The Pizza Hatch is the new paradigm shift. I wasn't ready for it. And now, I'm less confused. I'm sure that one day, you might read this and understand. I never dreamed of something new. Never speculated on it. If all other restaurants are a single-player game you complete and move on from, then the Pizza Hatch is an online game that you obsess over, that consumes you, that pulls you in. That might be underselling it. Perhaps traditional restaurants are cave paintings, and the Pizza Hatch is Picasso's Guernica. And with this knowledge, something unpredictable to someone as present and as stuck in their own lives as me, I've realized I love its world. It's scary at first, but its role is clear. To dominate one's life, some people devote their lives to their families, others their job, many their hobbies. This is what I stand for. And unlike many restaurants and hobbies, this raison d'etre is a singular path I walk alone. After a week of eating trash pizza so that I could theorize, conceptualize, and plan, I made my voyage back to the Pizza Hatch. That said, I had to cut down a lot of habits in my life. I also witnessed things that might seem extreme or delusional. To be clear, I don't fear judgment of others, but I do fear they won't be patient, won't try to understand. So please, reserve judgment until everything has been explained. The most important thing I've done is give up on the internet. It was no help at all, just a distraction. I stumbled upon the Pizza Hatch looking to be distracted from the emptiness of my life, only to find out what I had been missing. So that distraction was snipped. Just my diary notes and plans exist in this apartment now. Obviously, I quit my job after I emptied my bank account into a fat stack of $20 bills. The clutter needed to go. No more dressers full of clothes or vinyl records or video games. Trivial things like potpourri, toothpaste, and deodorant had to go. They only distract from the smell and taste of the Pizza Hatch. If I clean and wipe down my body right, the only thing I can smell is the hatch. Its aroma wafting over for miles. It invaded my mind, and now it's everywhere. You might think I've lost my mind, that there's no way the smell could reach me so far from the Pizza Hatch. You're right, it can't. Pizza ninjas killed my neighbor, retrieved the boxes, and gave me a breath mint. A lot of things that can't happen are happening, at least in my world. And sincerely, I don't care about anyone else's story. After all, the moon can't look like a giant pizza pie in the sky, but that's what it is. You can look up at the sky and see that it isn't a pizza, but I can't not look up and see the melted cheese, the slightly charred ham slices, the habanero peppers cut into little proportional ringlets. Just looking out the window with it closed slightly burns my eyes in a pleasant way. Sometimes, early in the morning, I'll notice the sun rising in the distance and feel a hunger in my heart, like a hunger pang, but where heartbreak should be. Knowing the moon pizza won't hit my eyes until the late evening. I rub my eyes and feel the grease and oil that gently oozes out of it. Both my reality and body are bending to the will of this new escapade. Like I've lived a life as a caterpillar, and now I'm starting to weave my cocoon. Once I was ready, I made my way to the fly. The elevator, the hallway to the hatch getting hotter and hotter. I could feel the healthy coat of pizza grease on my skin bubble and boil as if I was being cooked. So intense. The pressure must have done something to open up my lungs because I could breathe so deep. Back pain I hadn't noticed developing from working in a computer chair was relieved on that short walk in that cramped chamber. It was like I was already eating before I made it to the oven to order my food, nourishing some part of me that the modern world had neglected. Once inside the room with the hatch, I fished 3 crisp $20 bills out of my pocket and opened the hatch. I carefully knelt, one knee and then the other, 2 hands, used to place 1 bill in its spot, then another with love, then another, paying close attention to how they lay in their places. And just as meditatively, I wrapped my hands around the handle of the hatch and closed it. Then bang! The sound came, and I opened the hatch less than a second later. I pulled up my treasure. The experience I had dreamt of. I must be dreaming. Can't believe that it's happening to me. Pizza in hand, I closed the hatch, bowed to the pizza hatch, and left. The patience I struggled with less than a week ago wasn't a struggle anymore. It was a pressure. A test, yes, but not a struggle. Same with the heat of the pizza itself and its weight. Indeed, the pizza was hotter than any of the pizzas before, but I could easily handle it, no longer sensitive to its fiery touch. And if I paid $60 for this, I'll be damned if it didn't weigh 60 fucking pounds. I felt my bicep flare to lift its delicious, cheesy mass. At home, I stripped down out of my impure clothes so that I may know the pizza fully, and it may know me. I broke its seal and discovered what I had suspected from my knowledgeable nose. This pie was spinach, beef, and mushroom. When I lifted the box open, it was as if the pizza flopped out onto the hardwood floor like a circular centerpiece carpet. As if the square studio apartment itself was a pizza box, absorbing the heaping coating of grease. As I lost myself in pulling apart the pizza, so perfectly sliced and proportional, such stretchy, gluey cheese, pacing around the apartment, trying to study each morsel of pizza, of life, as I consumed what I held. Sometimes I'd eat a slice with both hands. Sometimes I'd start chewing a bite of pizza and spit it back out onto my hand so that I could study it as it broke down. I'd close my eyes and rest my head on the pizza, feeling its texture in a way that my hands couldn't. I'd open the window so the condensation from the pizza would be free, like opening a pizza box. And with all that I did, it seemed to last an eternity. Until it was over. Until the sobriety of no pizza kicked in. Suddenly, my lungs couldn't open so wide. The back pain was so bad I could barely walk or put on my clothes, and with all the grease it was hard to open my eyes. But in the light of morning, absent the moon pie, I realized there wasn't a poem at the bottom of this pizza box, as there had been with the previous boxes. Instead, there was something amazing, a kind of revelation, a message without words. 4 rectangles, the size of bills, and I knew what it was asking. You might not know, but I think you know. The truth is surreal. The Pizza Ninjas didn't receive this box. They chose me, an offer I'm humbled by. I placed 4 $20 bills into the box and closed it. And then that oh so familiar bang, right there in my studio apartment. I opened the box, and I can see down. It's wonderful. I'm so pleased. I encourage you. Jump into something real, something that means something. Be reborn. If you sacrifice yourself to something, make sure it's something you can be happy in.
Pizza Hatch was written by Dead Palette, narration by Dead Palette, editing, mastering, and original music by Abysme. Comprehensive links below. YouTube.com/Creepypasta is a collaborative channel. Please subscribe if you want to follow our content. If you want to support the channel, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing this video with like-minded members of the community.